What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Antwyone. Thank you guys again for joining me for another episode of What's in Your Studio. Baby, baby. And man, what's going on with your photos, baby? Woo. So this is the channel to be at, and to explore some new stuff, the new way of thinking, man. I really appreciate your time and your dime, man. Let's get right into it. So we're about to go into the studio and we're going to talk about one thing is we're going to talk about lighting and exposure. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the setup here real quick so you will know. All right, so the setup is this light here. That's the Beauty Dish light. You can see right in the front, not the big panel, not the other one. It's pointing towards the gray backdrop. So you got a Beauty Dish on a boom arm C stand. You have um, a lift adjustable just tabletop, and then you have a piece of like I will call it driftwood, but it was a throwaway piece from a carpentry class. I love the patina of it, the cracking because it looks like it's a old table, and I'll stain it later so we can get that going. We have the iPad there so I can see the pictures over there, and that is powered by Capture One, and I'll talk to you guys about that. We have the great backdrop here, and that is a portable backdrop. It is about 5.5 feet by 7.5 feet, and we have a gray black V flat board, which is helped me to take away some of the light. You asked me why. We're going to talk about that. Okay. So we metered the camera earlier. But I'm going to talk to you guys about that real quick, and you can see this. All right, so the camera is metered at 1/60th of a stop. Excuse me, 1/60th of a stop, 1/60th of a stop, 125 ISO, and we're at f9. Okay, I'm going to drop that to f8. Um, I kind of like being at f8, f7.1, f8. All right, so we're going to take a shot here, a photograph, by pressing the shutter speed here in Capture One. And you can see it is really well exposed. I'm probably like a half a stop under. And the reason why I'm a half a stop under in exposure, if you depending on which part of the light and the distance that you're in, depends on how well you're lit in the environment. Okay. So this is what is on. This is not what's on. This is what's on the camera, but what's in the reading of your lantern or your light or whatever you're using. That should be metered so you can kind of get your proper exposure to you and where you want to be from there. And we're going to talk about using a meter in another video, but this one is just to show you how to set up your camera, looking at where you want to be, and then setting up your light to be there as well. I'm going to go take a shot to see if I need to change my light, my lighting, my exposure of my light, and we'll get right back to it. But first, always take your color card, your white balance, and we take a shot first. So we're gonna bring the card up. We got that out of the way, and now I'm going to look at the see what my there it is. Yeah, see what that's a little bit. Awesome. I ain't liking it. I can see it in a camera view, and I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Yeah. Okay. 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 It's not bad. It's not bad at all. What do you guys think? We got good separation because those shadows are giving me separation from the background right there. That's how you can create a little bit of separation too, right? Creating a little bit of shadow, but we can post, we can doll this up a little bit. But in lighting, I am not mad at this. Again, I always kind of shoot a little bit under, because that's just what I like to do. And to meter it all the way, and this is like where they say perfect metering, I'm going to bring this up to 200 and take a shot. All right, and I'm gonna bring maybe 220, I got 225 on here. Let's say 250. 250 maybe over. Just a little bit over. So I'm gonna bring up, go back to F9. It may get me just a little bit under. Bring this down to 120. That may be too much of a stop. Maybe over a little bit. Playing around with this so I can show you guys some highlights. Okay. Go back to 160. Come on, give it to me. That's close enough. All right. So as you can see, even though you can see the light transition all the way through, I'm gonna go sit down and I'm gonna show you why. If even if you meter a few under, let me take this down to 250. That should be perfect. Even if you're right here, let me show you something real quick. You tell me what's wrong with this picture, right? What's wrong with it? Okay. Some people will say, "Hey man, ain't nothing wrong with that picture." But if you look at all this right here versus my original shot, which one would you want, right? Which one would you want to edit for one, and which one would you want? Let me get rid of these ones here so we can go back and forth quicker. So that's the shot I did. I was just a half a stop underneath, as you can see right here, and this is almost close to perfect exposure. And you can tell by just a hair of changing things you start playing around with it. You're like, man, am I exposed? Am I not exposed? Exposure is, for me, is sharpness. Okay, sharpness. Where am I in? And then again, you have the depth of field. That's part of sharpness too. But what am I seeing in my sharpness? Am I seeing a little bit of separation? Yes. Am I seeing the clarity of my clothes? Yes. Am I seeing the fullness of my focal points? Yes. And this is all I need to see. You see this right here? See that? That's one highlight, two highlight, three highlight, four highlight, and everything else is contoured down. That's when you know you're right there. Now, for me, I'm going to take the table out and I'm going to show you something else. Okay? What just happened? Huh? Tell me what just happened. This is about exposure. I didn't change anything up here. Nothing up here got changed. What happened? It's a few things that happened. One, I brought in a white reflection on the bottom, which is a good thing. But now it's bringing me too much light. Two, I'm closer to the light. So I have to look at the possibility that this light may be brighter. So I have to start saying, hey, as soon as I move further or more, I have to change my exposure or I have to change my lighting. Since I don't want to change my lighting right now, I'm going to change my exposure. So I'm going to go back down to 100. And I'm going to show. And again, we're walking through maybe 125, 100 maybe a little bit much, but 125 and see what happens. That's my ISO, by the way. All right, let's look at that. All right, now we're back to cooking with gravy. Look at this picture here. Look at this picture here, and look at this picture here. I'm sorry, this is the other one. Same distance, white reflection, but taking the lighting exposure down, fixing it. Now this may be a little bit too dark, but I'm okay with it. But it's not as loud as it was before, meaning it's high. But here, what I would say my perfect exposure was this one, then I will say I will grade it on this level here. So I will say, am I closer to this one um, in my light, or am I a little different? Which I am a little different because what happened to my background? Did my background get a little bit darker? It did. Versus when it was readily exposed, that's my perfect one, right? Let me go ahead and get rid of these guys. Yeah. Right, from here to here, look at my background. Changing up distance, looking at where the light is exposing to and through, changing and metering out of your camera settings, everything starts to change. Everything starts to kind of lift and go. Now, I can bring my light up a stop and say, hey, I'm going to bring my light up a stop to meet where I want to expose a little bit better. And then I'll run those down. I'll run all those things down. That's how you can play with different lighting scenarios to create a different look. Now, I shared with you guys before, your look is your look. Your interpretation of that look is your look. Now, I'm not here to tell you how to make your look for your light. I'm just saying, I'm just giving you examples of what does the light look like? What does the shadows look like? What's happening to the background? What's the fall off of the light? They call it square law. And you want to we're going to talk about that because I'm gonna have some graphs and some PowerPoints and all that stuff so we can walk through that. So we can see what that actually means to you as a photographer and how you want to rectify that issue inside of your photos. Now, I also too put a negative fill on one side. As you can see, the negative fill is making one side darker than the other side. So that's also too there. So, and that's for me to create some type of look that I want to have, which I have a little more shadows on one side of my face, that's what I was creating. That's a look, okay? So whatever you're trying to do inside of your look, exposure, exposure, exposure. Now I have some clipping, looks like a little bit of clipping on my negative, my shadows right here. Just a little bit. I got a look. I can go a little. I can it ain't hurt. It ain't hurting me. So I'm gonna go to my adjustments here. I'm just gonna bring up the shadows a little bit. Like I said, me being a stop or so lower, I'm okay with that because it's still giving me good information that I like, and I can play with my shadows and all that good stuff. Blacks. All right. Make a layer. Draw a radio. Bring that in. Hit up a crop. And what I do is when I do my cropping, I like cutting off the forehead, the shots of the head. Is that something I do? And some of my shots. All right. So we can do that. And then also too, in Capture One, they have um, a little bit of retouching, AI, dark circles, even out my skin just a little bit, contour a little bit more. So I'll have you show the before and after. So that's the before, that's the after, before, after. And then I can go over here to my styles and do a quick little, no, I'm gonna do no black and white. I'm gonna do a, let me try a little film. See what my little film looks like. Try a little film on there. Not loving it. Not loving it. I like to create my own for the most part. I do usually go ahead and do a quick little three-way. Since I have gray and black, again, go straight to blue. Uh, I can go with my, I think I'm gonna do blue and green, and then my shadows is gonna be in orange. There we go. Not red as much, and I can keep it there. So that's before. This is after. Easier said than done, as they say. Easier said than done. Um, I'm I'm a firm believer in creating a look. Now that I see this here, we can copy this. I can go take another photograph and it'll inside of Caption One, it'll look exactly like this. But that's the fun part. After you get your exposure right, you can start tweaking it. So let's go take a couple of crazy pictures real quick. Oh, hell, man, that thing gonna kill me one day. All right. When you're look at that boy right there. All the things that I just did. So now all the shots are cropped where I want them to be cropped. I don't have to do anything but just take these, download them, and have them at the ready for whatever. Okay. This is what fun it is when it comes to looking at photo, excuse me, exposure, creating your exposure the best way that you want to, developing the look that you want to develop. We're going to be talking about another lighting scenario, which is our dual light scenario, and we're going to be looking at color grading on that one as well. I hope you guys had a great time learning, and I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and hanging out with the channel here. This is Antwyone with another episode of What's in Your Studio, and man, what's going on with your photos. If you like this type of information, you like making sure that you get through it and walk through it together, this is the channel for you. I'll be going over this and many more subjects, so please do stay tuned for more. I appreciate you guys. Happy Taco Tuesday. That's what this thing is all about. Up until then, keep shining and grinding. I'm out, baby. Come on.